I know you're looking at the title of this video and thinking, oh great, another guy who's going to say the same thing and the same stuff. Shut up. I'm not like the other guys. Mostly because I had no idea what to make, so I kind of just copied other people's ideas. But that doesn't mean I don't know a few things, and it also just seemed fun to make this video. When it comes to photography or even videography, there's a couple things that if you get right, your photos become 10 times better. However, one thing people tend to forget is that photography is an art. So even though there's all of these rules, do whatever you like, because they're only really tools for you to maybe or maybe not take better photos. So keep that in mind going through this video. The first thing you should know is composition. You can look at photos and just see tons of different types that help and that people use, but there are a few that I like and that I feel like you can always use. The first one is the rule of thirds. It's the basic grid you see on your phone, but it helps centering and sizing up images. I tend to use it when I'm shooting solo things or when something has a lot of depth into it. Like this waterfall, for example. It has trees close and the waterfall more centered and in the back. Or this goat, or these flowers. They're all centered. The rule of thirds helps a lot and honestly could be the only one that you need, but there's a lot more that are situational, like the golden spiral or the frame inside of the frame. But then again, you don't need any of them. Like these photos here don't necessarily follow a known composition, but they're still good. Now this next tool you sometimes can't control. Lighting is mainly for people who shoot inside and have control over their surroundings. However, there's still ways to look for lighting out in nature that can make the photo better. When shooting inside, there's many different lighting options with the right tools. Soft light, hard light, practical light, warm light, cool light, colored light, or even natural light. It's all up to you and however your style is. For me, I like warm and practical lighting. Practical lighting is the basic stuff like the lamps in the background or the window light right here. Now, the one thing that makes lighting good is contrast. That's also how you can find good lighting outside. You have to be looking around the subjects for lights and darks, or adjusting your camera settings to compensate for the bad lighting. But that leads me to the next and, in my opinion, most important tool you can use. Editing. I love editing photos because you can make a photo that gives a vibe, a completely new vibe. I personally use the DaVinci Resolve color page, and yes, I know there's a photo page, but I still prefer the color page, okay? But no matter what you'd use, there's a couple things that you should apply. Contrast. Make the lights light and the darks dark without being too light or too dark. Yeah, I know, I'm super helpful. Color. White balance, saturation, and independent tones need to pop. Sharpness. I always end up adjusting this a good bit just to make the photos look higher quality, but you definitely need for wildlife and close-up photos. The only time I don't use it is when a person or an animal without hair is in the photo. Now, a lot of people hate this part of the process because it can take some time to edit hundreds of photos that then you have to re-upload before uploading, before posting, before hoping that you get any views, and then ultimately noticing that you don't get any views. No fear, I have a fix for that. Not the views. That you're on your own. I can't help you with that. I have actually made a Powergrade. Yes, this is an ad for myself, but don't worry, it's short and it might actually help some people. The Powergrade pack is an easy to use drag and drop color grade that makes the photos so much better in such little time. It's complete with 3 power grades that are completely customizable, but my favorite has to be the Kodak 2383. I use it for quite literally everything. I mean, just look at my Instagram, all of it is Kodak. Anyway, like I said, short ad, and it only works in DaVinci Resolve, but that's also free, so no worry. Use this promo code on screen somewhere for 45% off, and it's not limited time, so no rush. This last tip is for the people who take photos and then send it to people. Don't use email, don't use Instagram, don't use Discord, don't use Google Drive. Those all make your photos lose quality. I personally use a website called WeTransfer. It's free, and you just send a link to the other person and they can download it through that. But if you don't want to use that, or if you don't like that one, there's hundreds out there that work, I'm sure. And it's way better than, sending a marriage photo to them and then they text you back being like, hey, why is it pixelated? Here's another thing to remember. If you're a beginner, don't expect your photos to be perfect. You gotta have some delayed gratification. It takes a lot to get better.